You saw Bella Tylen right before the break, and when she's not modeling the latest in fashion, she's actually using her talent to create ceramics, you guys. So today she joins me to share how she's carved her own path to success and where you can see her work on display. Hello and good morning.
Thanks for having me.
So glad to have you. Okay, so I also have to mention that Bella, she's not new to GMT. If you've seen our fashion shows, she's actually one of the models that walks in our fashion shows. So she's now here in her own right, which we love. So how in the world do you balance modeling and doing ceramics all in one life?
It's definitely a very big balancing act, but it seems like lately I'm in this groove of having like a week out of town for work, and then I come home and I have a big chunk of time off to work on this stuff.
Yes, indeed. Some people wanted you to choose a different path. You talked a little bit about in your own story. So how did you decide to maybe not go with the grain and follow your own path and make your own dreams happen?
Yeah, I think following my dreams really started to happen for me when I found a really solid community of creatives. So just having, that alone was very inspiring and encouraging for me to keep following my passion.
Yes, indeed. Was the original plan like to be a doctor or be a lawyer or something of that nature?
I mean, there's a lot of like societal pressure.
There is.
Yeah,
everybody
to find job security, quote unquote, because I don't really know like if any job is totally secure.
No
these
job
days,
is ever secure, girl.
yeah. So, but yeah, here I am.
I get that though, because I think a lot of people fight with that, right? Of trying to figure out how do I make a living while also doing something that I absolutely enjoy. And unfortunately, the reality is not everybody gets to do what they love. And so it's so special that you're now in this space and you've, like I said, carved your own path to be able to make that happen for yourself. So you could do anything else. Why ceramics? Why'd you dive into this space?
Yeah, I think what I love about ceramics the most is they're very functional in the aspect that I can infuse my day-to-day rituals with beauty and art, whether it's like a flower vase or if it's a spoon or a mug that I drink my coffee out of. So
how innovative is that though, when you wake up in the morning and you pour yourself a cup of coffee and you're like,
I made this. It's the best cup of coffee. It changes the taste.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so when you sit, especially, because it's free. Literally anything free, it tastes better every time. Now tell me, when you sit down, you got a piece of clay and you're looking at it, do you already have in mind what you're gonna make, or does creativity just flow out of you and you end up making a spoon?
I would say most of the time I start with my journal where I have like preconceived ideas of what I'm gonna start working on, and then but as I start working on the project, I get new ideas and the piece kind of evolves, and then eventually I end up with something I hadn't even imagined previously.
Exactly, and it's one of a kind because you're the one who made it, which is
and I just assume like however it turns out is how it's meant to be.
Exactly, no perfection here, not needed, honestly. So tell me, where does the inspiration come from before you even get the clay out and ready to go?
Yeah, my other passion aside from ceramics is anything old. I love antiques. I love antiques, and I think that kind of translates in my work. It looks very like kind of old and weathered. But yeah, I get a lot of inspiration from antique objects, and I also get a lot of inspiration from fashion, believe it or not.
Yeah, as you should, girl. You spend your every day around it. You should be some inspiration. Tell me, when did you notice that people were starting to notice you and your work, and you were like, okay, I could actually make a whole project out of this?
Yeah, I want to mention this because I think it's a really amazing tool. So I've had a lot of success with Instagram ads, actually, and I don't have a big community on Instagram, but the small community that I have developed from ads is actually very interactive, and I've built really meaningful relationships from it, actually. And then also I have to mention Alejandro at Tlazo Home that was on the show the other day. He was the first person to take a chance on me and my work. He took 6 of my first pieces into his brand new shop. And he's the first person that like really showed me that this is something that I can do. I can pursue my passion.
You can bring it all together.
Yeah, I'm so grateful for him.
Also, you're spilling the tea this morning because everybody was listening when you started talking about Instagram ads, because everybody wants to know how to make sure that they can get their page to blow up.
We have these tools, and I think artists should know about them.
Dive into them. Tell me, where can people find you and your artwork?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram. I'm still working on a website at Bella Tylen Studio. I post a lot of my process videos and my completed works there. These pieces here will actually be at Art Gallery in Deep Ellum on July 18th.
Nice! Congratulations to you. And you know what? Making all of your dreams come true. And thank you for sharing with us this morning, Bella.
Thanks.